Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Early Show with me, Pastor Gina, where I share with you news as well as unpack real-world events and offer practical advice, all from a Dharma perspective to help us to navigate the challenges that we face every day. Before we continue for today, I would just like to say that if you would like to sponsor a video, there is a link where you can do so in the description section below. And with that, let's get started. So when our Guru, His Eminence Sem Tuku Rinpoche, was skinny, people would always ask, why is he so skinny? Why is he so young? And then when our Guru manifested a larger size, people would ask, why is he so big? Can't he go on a diet? So clearly, this is a topic that many people are interested in. How come some lamas are larger and some lamas are skinnier? The first thing that we should clarify in Buddhism is that everything that a teacher does is for the sake of the student. What do I mean by that? Everything a teacher does is to bless a student or to bring a student closer to the Dharma. It is to get people interested in the Dharma, perhaps sometimes using unconventional methods that we otherwise might not expect. So a real teacher will manifest his activities, perhaps even including his appearance, all for the sake of the student. This could be in the form of losing weight, to become a model, to reach out to people who wouldn't necessarily be interested in Dharma. It could be in the form of setting up stalls in malls and shopping centers to connect with people who otherwise might not step into a temple. Or it could be something that's more conventional and more expected, for example, wearing full sets of robes to give teachings on grand thrones. Or perhaps something less conventional and less expected, for example, wearing casual clothes and cooking for students. So what is a teacher trying to teach us from changing appearances? Well, we know that a teacher's main motivation is to help the students. There can be many reasons, so here are a possible few. Not to get so hung up over the way we look. That impermanence is the truth of our existence. That things will change, that we will get old, that we will put on weight, and that we will lose weight. And that if we make our entire existence about our appearance, which is always changing, then our happiness will also go up and down. So, let go. That if we focus on a teacher's appearance and we keep commenting on the teacher's appearance, yes, it may be out of good intention, yes, it may be out of concern, but it's also an opportunity for us to reflect on the things that we ourselves prioritize in our own lives. We don't know what the teacher is truly planning, so maybe it's best for us not to comment on the teacher's appearance, because ultimately, what are most important are the teacher's motivation and qualities. Look at what the teacher has accomplished. Look at the results that the teacher has brought to people. Look at how many people the teacher has helped. Those are the things that are truly important, not his appearance. Plus, if you read the 50 Stanzas of Guru Devotion, which is a text that covers how a student should have a relationship with a teacher, there are a couple of verses in there which cover the qualities of a qualified spiritual guide, and they just don't mention what their appearance should be. The important thing for us to realize is that everything a teacher does is for the benefit of the student, and that includes the appearance a teacher chooses to manifest, whether it be tall, short, fat, skinny, rich, or poor. Welcome back to this week's Is a Plant-Based Life, where we talk about plant-based news, plant-based products, plant-based facts, and basically everything that you need to know in order to live a more plant-based life. Last week, I talked about plant-based alternatives to milk, and this week, I want to talk about butter. So, as you know, as the saying goes, the flavor's in the fat, and the same is still true of plant-based diets. Just because we're vegan or vegetarian does not mean that we've stopped appreciating fat and flavor. So, without access to animal fat, which in itself is a weird thing to say, where can plant-based people get their fat and flavor from? So if you really think about it, most of the fats that we commonly use to cook have a plant-based source. So I'm talking canola oil, sunflower oil, rapeseed oil, olive oil, coconut oil. All of those are plant-based, and all of them still remain accessible to us as vegans or vegetarians. There are also content creators out there teaching us to cook without the use of any fat at all, but still be able to produce really good meals. One such content creator, or should I say two content creators, is the Happy Pair. They are Irish twins David and Stephen Flynn, and they have a whole series of videos and recipes teaching people how to cook good food which is completely oil-free. My point is this: there are so many sources of fat available to us today that it seems unnecessary and even archaic for us to continue resorting to using animal fat. And if you need any more convincing, let me leave you with this quote from Harvard Health Publishing, which is the Consumer Health Education Division of Harvard Medical School. HHP say, but the source of the fat appears to make a difference. That's according to researchers at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, who studied dietary data from more than 90,000 people over an average of 22 years. Heart disease risk was lower when unhealthy saturated fat, refined carbohydrates, or trans fat was replaced by plant-based monounsaturated fat, but not by animal-based monounsaturated fat. Higher intake of the plant-based fats was associated with 16% lower risk of dying from any cause. In contrast, high intake of the animal-based fats was linked to a 21% higher risk of dying from any cause. The study, published in March 2018 in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, lends further support to the health benefits of a plant-based diet. So what plant-based fats do you regularly use in your cooking? And what animal-based fats do you use which you could possibly swap for a plant-based alternative? Let me know in the comment section below. Welcome back to the weekly roundup, where I tell you about news and events that are happening throughout our organization, as well as things that have happened in the past week. I hope you guys enjoyed JP Tong's session on forgiving yourself on last week's Detox Your Mind session. This week on June 19th, JP will be sharing on love for others. What is love? How do you really love someone? Is it the Hollywood kind of love where it's boy meet girl and it's filled with tragedy and longing and romance? Or is real love something completely different? If you want to know the answer to all of those questions and more, don't forget to register for the sharing ahead of time so that you can partake in the private workshop that happens immediately after. But before that even happens, Pastor Nero will be fulfilling your prayer request this Wednesday, June 16th. In conjunction with Father's Day, he'll be engaging in Tower Prayers for Familiar Harmony. So if you have any prayer requests, don't forget to tune in to the Kechara Facebook fan page on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Malaysian time. You don't have to make a request for yourself, you can make it for someone else. Make the request for a friend who's a father. Make the request for your own father. Make a request for all of the fathers in the world. And just because it's Father's Day coming up does not mean that you can't make a request for someone who isn't a father or who isn't male. Alright, that's it from me for this week. I hope that everyone's doing well and staying safe now that we're coming into the second week of the lockdown. The number of COVID-19 cases is going down, but now is not the time for us to be complacent. So please continue to stay safe, please continue to stay at home, and don't go out if you don't have to. Thanks so much again for joining me, and I'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. And as ever, have a great week ahead, and don't forget to be kind to each other. Bye!